will turn white. Your face will turn green. Your eyeballs will pop with pressure. Because our doomsday shows the living. For your strength, you're gonna need an awful lot when you see our shocker pictures. So terrifying.
Good evening and welcome to the Lost Legacies Horror Extravaganza. Nice to bite you. Yeah, I'm not going to do that for the rest of the episode. Hi, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to I meant to just say like Halloween whatever, but it's Horror Extravaganza. That's what this is. This is the Lost Legacies Horror Extravaganza. I am your host, Sam.
And I'm Matt, as always.
And you know, this is what we do. We do like a little Halloween episode every year, and with us tonight, we have some very, very important people, some very important guests in the house. We have a couple of friends of the show who have been on here before. Everybody, please welcome back our good friends, Amy and Mickey. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Yay!
We come with our own claws. Yay!
Thank you for inviting us. I have to say, you've gotten to the point of the podcast where I don't think I've seen Lost up to that point. And so now I'm just learning Lost through the episodes. I'm not watching them anymore. I'm just listening to your episodes.
Ooh.
We're going to have to start acting some scenes out.
I know. Okay. Let me, before we get into any Halloween or horror stuff, let me ask you a question. How are you enjoying learning about Lost via Matt and I essentially like just talking about it?
It's a little confusing, but I think I'm getting the gist.
Okay.
It's fun. It's entertaining.
Do you feel lost at all?
I mean, I think I'd be just as lost if I was watching the show.
Oh.
Probably. Who knows?
Maybe.
It's funny too, because like we've kind of made the point, like, okay, we need to stop recapping the episodes.
Yeah.
Because that was like the
what's going
first
on?
2 seasons. And then this happened. And then this happened. And now it's just like, did you watch it or not? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's more so like, you know, if you're listening and you're a fan of Lost, we're just gonna assume you watched it, and if you haven't, well, fine.
Just have fun.
Yeah, I don't know why you're here, but thanks for being here.
We should mention that Amy is our returning Halloween trivia champion from last year.
Yes, she is.
Thank you. This is true.
Yeah, your
How'd you know?
presence is known. I feel very challenged, and you know, may the best I don't know, person here win.
We're the best Amy. That's fine.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that would be me.
By default. Okay. Well, guys, it's a thrill to have you here. I'm just gonna throw it up to everybody. I have a question right now. And Matt, you can feel free to answer this too, even though I know horror movies aren't necessarily your bag, but what has been like the one like horror movie this year that I don't know, that's just been like the most exciting for you? It doesn't have to be necessarily like the best, you know, movie of the year, or even like on your top 10 or anything, but just like one that you saw that you were just like, whoa, like yeah, like just got super amped, super jazzed.
I didn't need to look at my letterbox to have my answer. Like you, Mick. You said the most like exciting and like the most excited and like woo.
Mm-hmm.
That was Scream for me. In the
Okay.
beginning of the year, because I love Sydney Prescott and she's fantastic, and Nev Campbell is equally as fantastic. But more than anything, it was just the idea of like having, returning characters. We got Gale Weathers and we got Dewey again. And the introduction of some Latinas, which is so freaking cool. And I had been excited about this for over a year. And I even remember posting about it on Instagram and like obviously sharing my costume, or our costumes, Ghostface and Sydney. So yeah, the anticipation was there. And just honestly, I feel like what we've seen in movies, not just horror movies, but just, movies in general, the last couple of years, like nostalgic things that happen on screen are always like really appreciated, and some might be like meh, but I freaking loved it, and I love seeing familiar faces. So I did scream every single time that something cool happened, and even way before it came out. Thank you. Am I going to get a round of applause every single time I answer?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you expect the same?
No.
Okay.
So for me, I think part of it being exciting is like being surprised by it. And so there's a lot of movies that I look forward to, and then I had like expectations, and it met the expectations, and it surpassed them, and it was really good. But there's there's something about watching a movie that you're like, oh, I've never heard of this. I heard some people talking about it, or like, oh, I've never heard of this, but it's new and I want to watch it. And then putting it on, and then as it goes, being like, is this the best thing I've ever seen? And then over and over, you're like, oh my God, this is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And so I have to say, the movie Watcher was one of my most exciting movies now. Is Watcher.
Just Watcher?
Yeah, it's just Watcher.
Okay. Are you going to double check?
Let me prove to you. It's just Watcher.
Okay. But there's another movie that people are calling The Watcher.
Yeah, there's another movie came out this year called The Watcher.
Why are we doing this?
And it's not good.
Oh.
No, but there's a movie called Watcher, and I remember watching it for the first time. I saw it like here's the thing that Sam knows. I think Matt knows. I'm not sure, but when I watch a new movie that I love so much, I tend to watch it like 2 or 3 times in a row, just to make sure that I saw what I saw. So like I watched The Watcher, and I remember being like, oh, is this how women feel every day? Like, is this what this movie is trying to do? And the movie is almost just like this heightened like story that's trying to tell like how the anxieties that women feel as they're like traveling, like navigating the world. And it's really scary, and it's really crazy. And I think the second time I watched it, I was showing Amy some scenes. I don't know. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like the second time I watched it. So I showed it to Amy, and I was asking her questions as we were watching it. And like there's this one scene of like this woman. All it is her going across some streets, finding a movie theater, sitting down and watching a movie. And then some guy comes and sits directly behind her and is like breathing heavily down her neck.
Ugh.
And it's one of the scariest things of the year. And then she just like gets up and leaves. And it's like this anxiety of like, it's like what Men was trying to do, but like failed very poorly. But failed. And so it's like, it's really interesting. And the script was written on the blacklist. And I read a little bit of it when it was on the blacklist. And then it sold, and then they changed the location. It used to be in New York, and now it's like not in New York. I forgot where it was. No, it was like it's like foreign.
Wasn't it? Isn't it in like Prague or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where, but yeah, it's somewhere where they made it so that not everyone speaks her language. So like, further emphasize the like distance. I thought that was really cool. Anyways, yeah, that's my answer. It's a long-winded answer, but that's my answer.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. I still haven't watched it yet, but that one is definitely on my list. You guys, the other day when we were watching Halloween Ends, gave us like some good choices that was on there. So I definitely need to check all of those off.
What's your
Matt?
answer?
Oh, my answer?
Yeah.
My answer was a little movie very excited for. It was called Shark Side of the Moon.
Oh no.
No. I'm kidding. It wasn't Shark Side of the Moon. That's a whole other topic of conversation. But honestly, for me this year, it's Nope.
Hmm.
That one, that one kind of like fully just took me by surprise. Mostly because I was so worried about it. I felt like it was I was hyping it up too much for myself. I only saw the trailer once, and I was like, okay, like I'm done. Like I don't need to see any more of it. And like more stuff was coming out, and everybody was talking about like theories and like, oh, it's aliens, it's alien invasion, blah blah blah, all this stuff. There was a small contingent though that thought that it was like a giant monster movie akin to like Godzilla. And I was like, I feel it, maybe not. I don't know. Like there was just so much that I had like riding on this movie. Like, God, I hope it's really good. God, I hope it's really good. And then and then I'm in there. I'm in the theater, and we're watching it. And then it starts, and it starts with the scene with like we're in like the throes of like this massacre, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then that's how I felt for the whole movie. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm so much along for the ride. And it's a ride. It's so good. And there's something in it that like it perfectly blends the anxiety of like alien invasion movies with the thrill of monster movies. There's a certain thrill that we get with like Jurassic Park, where it's like, oh, like they're running, through the field, away from the dinosaurs, or they're like trying to drive away from the T-Rex, or even in like the 90s Godzilla movie where they're like driving the taxi through New York trying to get away from Godzilla. It's like there's this like thrill ride, feeling to it. And I don't want to give too much away. One, because if people haven't watched it, they should definitely still go watch it. And it's just like, I don't know. It's so hard for me to talk about it without it just becoming what we talk about for the rest of the podcast. So yeah, like that for me was like the most hype. Like just like watching certain moments in that and like feeling like one, getting like visceral like gut punch reactions, like, oh geez, like man, like gonna have to unpack a bunch of that in therapy. So but it's good, but it's so good.
Matt, have you seen Nope?
Nope.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
no.
that's why I didn't want to say anything. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Matt, it's your kind of horror movie.
I think Matt would love it.
That's kind of what I've heard, from I try to stay away from the reviews from that one.
Mhm.
Because there's the horror movies where like I really don't care, so I'll read a review here and there.
Wait, like which ones?
Like Halloween. I enjoy the slasher ones, but like it's not really something I make a point to, oh, I have to watch this. But like Jordan Peele, like that's one like, okay, I really don't want anything spoiled, so I try and steer clear. But yeah.
Matt, did you ever watch Us?
Yeah, I did.
Because I know you saw Get Out, but it took you a while.
Yeah, I saw them in a while. It took a while to watch Us as well.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be honest, like I don't remember a lot of it. I remember being freaked out, but like in a good way,
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of like Get Out as well. Like that's one that like it was just I loved it. That's my kind of horror movie.
Mhm.
So
Amy was about to leave the podcast.
Yeah. No, I love Us. Us
Mhm.
is and I know people like hate on it, but those aren't my people, so that's fine. So I was just getting prepared for what Matt was gonna say.
Amy was gonna leave, and then we were gonna have to do her voice for her and
Yeah.
pretend she's still
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have heard that.
Speaking of my kind of horror movies, like I almost said, like I haven't watched any horror movies this year. I still don't think I have, but for some people, they would consider horror. Prey.
Yeah.
But
Got to
Yeah.
throw it back to the Predator.
yeah.
You know, like to me, I'm like, dude, that's just action straight up. But I'm like, oh, I guess technically, I was on my letterbox. I was like, oh, I guess that's horror. I dug that a lot. I mean, it's the Predator. You know, what more do you want?
Did you watch the Comanche dub?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I saw it, and then I saw it again with my dad, and he loved it. You know, and my dad, you know, he got his degree in cultural studies, so he's like, I think I'm gonna watch this one. I was like, let's do it. So yeah, it was a blast. But, yeah.
I remember after it came out, everyone's like, "This is the Predator. Just stick him in different like historical like times, and then see what happens."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
I wonder what other franchises you could do that with as well.
The Terminator.
Terminator, because I remember someone saying, what is it, like have the Greeks open up the box from Hellraiser? I'm like, oh, that's something
Ooh.
they would do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some kind of Greek puzzle, and it's Hellraiser.
Those Greek philosophers, you know,
Uh-huh.
trying
Or
to
just
figure
like,
out the
or
universe.
just make like an Atlantis movie and just sell it as something else. And then at the end of the first act, they open the puzzle from Hellraiser, and that's what happens to Atlantis.
Oh no, because in my head I'm thinking of like Milo from the Disney movie. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Oh no, let's not
No.
do it.
No, I don't want Milo to open that.
No.
No.
Oh man. All right, well, I guess it's time for a trivia question.
Time for bum.
I'm gonna start y'all off easy.
Oh God.
Now, okay, I will say this to the audience. If you didn't listen to the last Halloween special, these three know a lot more about horror movies than I do. So I had to tilt the scales a little bit in my favor, and I've removed a lot of the multiple choice elements.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
What?
this one, no multiple choice, so whoever yells the answer first gets 5 points. Okay. In the first Friday the 13th film, how many people does Jason kill?
7.
0.
Sam gets it.
One.
You're
Sam
right.
gets it.
It's 0
He
because
kills
it's his,
one.
It's his
No, he
mom.
doesn't. No, you're right. He doesn't
Yeah.
kill one because
Yeah.
Alice wakes up.
Sam, when did you find
job,
out that these were the questions? Huh? Huh?
You know, this is like you know, back in college or back in high school where you're like, oh, like didn't really study for the test, but what you did the night before was you made sure you wrote all the answers on something that you had with you, you know? Like you know, my these glasses are pretty new, guys, you know, I gotta say, and they're
They're nice.
yeah, they're real nice, you know, they give me clarity and
Okay.
you know, certain kind of
we
know.
need those then.
Wow.
yeah,
Do you
should
have the
definitely-
answers like etched onto the
That's
lenses?
what I was gonna say. They're
What?
like Google Lens, Google
I-
Glass. Google
I don't know
Glass.
what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I have Siri. She's gonna help me.
Okay, so do I. What?
Wow. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Oh. Whoa. It actually worked. That's weird. Okay, stop listening to me.
Okay, I have another question. Have any of you been keeping track or following up with what I think is one of the coolest things that's come out this year, the Dracula Daily
Yes.
Substack?
Yes. Okay, Amy. So the Dracula, the Bram Stoker's Dracula, is told through letters, but there's a word for that.
Keanu Reeves.
So it's told through Keanu Reeves's letters, but not just Jonathan Harker's letters. It's like diary entries,
Yeah.
journal entries from a bunch of people. I believe, no, I don't think it's any like newspaper clippings, but it's pretty much just told like by date,
Yeah, it's like journal entries that have dates, letters that have dates, and all that stuff. It's like the book version of a found footage movie.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
they found all these pieces of media that are telling, and then they put it in order to tell a story, right?
Mhm.
And so what somebody did is that they started Dracula Daily on the first day that the letters start.
Hmm.
And then Sam, how does it go?
And then from there, it's essentially you'll get an email corresponding with the date, like the next date that's present. So I know at the beginning it was a lot of Jonathan, because he's the one who sort of like starts the story off by going to Dracula's castle. So, it's a lot of them are in succession of each other, and then at a certain point they sort of start to peter out because more crazy stuff is happening, and you'll go a few like weeks or something without an entry, and then we get to like a really big date. So it's like May something, like May 25th is like the big date. And then we'll cut to
Did you really? That's my birthday. It is a
Who
big day,
knew?
right?
Who knew? It is a big day, exactly. And then the next date we'll get, it'll be like May 30th or something. And then it cuts to Mina's diary as she is starting to like say like, I'm worried about my fiance, I'm missing my fiance, all that stuff. And that's how the novel is told. The novel is told in all of these entries, and that's the Substack. It's basically you get a newsletter every day that's the next entry
Or
of the story.
every day
Or,
that corresponds with the date.
yes, every corresponding date.
So how long is that? Like, how long is that story in story time?
I think it's a little under a year, because I think the book starts in March,
Mm-hmm.
and that's so it's been going on like since March. Well, yeah, and I feel like they're coming sort of close to the conclusion. Because right now spoilers for anybody who hasn't read Dracula or seen Dracula, everybody's wise to his act. Dracula is racing back to his castle, and the team of vampire hunters are chasing after him now. So yeah, it might end. I think actually it might end in November.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder like how many other books are told in that style.
Flipped.
Flipped?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's that?
I read it like in middle school. I think it's flipped.
Yeah, there's a few books like that.
Well, like halfway through, you flip the book because it's the other side and just a bunch of diary entries and stuff.
Ooh,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Mhm.
There is a I think there are like two different substacks for Moby Dick, because Moby Dick is told through all diary entries.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two separate ones. There's one that sort of like Dracula will go by the date.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that goes by the date but keeps it in real time. So the book in its entirety takes about 3 years.
Oh wow.
And so that Substack newsletter is that you get it, you get the diary entry, and then you have to wait potentially
crazy.
months to get the next entry, and then potentially like a couple of weeks and get the next entry and all
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell us that this show is sponsored by Dracula Daily?
It should be.
It should be. Yeah. It should be Dracula Daily, Substack. If you want to support the Lost Legacies podcast, what we could do, Matt, is now we're going to restart Lost, but we're going to do it by date. By date of when everything happens after the flight crashes.
That's almost the opposite, man, because like we talked about this before. You could go through 2 or 3 episodes that all happen in the same day.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
we'd have like a 3-month show. Lost would be done. Like, all right, now what?
Well, dang. Okay.
No, no.
Star Trek. We'll do Star Trek next.
It's like there's people in LA that they watch there's like a theater that they'll be playing the first season of 24,
Mm.
and it takes 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and so you just watch 24 all day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fun.
That's
I,
intense.
I need to make a clarification. I do not want flipped fans to come after us.
He's on the bed. Go get him.
Huh?
Apparently, Flipped is not told that way. Amy was lying.
Oh no. Well, maybe it was another book then.
I do know that there are certain books that are like that. I think Marcus Danielewski's Only Revolutions is like that, where it's like told.
I think, yeah. I don't remember. I think it's because it's two different characters.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Oh, actually, maybe I think that's just what I'm taking from it. I don't think it's told by like diary entries or journal dates, but I do know that like since
House
they're told
of Leaves is
different. Yeah.
If you want to read a trippy book, go read House of Leaves because that's literally the whole book. It's different entries like that.
Yeah. Mickey, have you read House of Leaves?
No.
Ooh, you want to talk? You want to talk about how like Dracula is like a found footage horror movie?
Yeah.
House of Leaves is technically like a found footage like horror movie in book form.
Yeah.
In all of the crazy surrealist possible ways. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what Mickey thinks of that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of my favorite books ever. And now 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea isn't written that way, but I remember the beginning is like the prologue. It's all a bunch of newspaper clippings of like mysterious like sea monster attacks or ships sinking. But if you already know what you're reading, you'll know that's the ship.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How can I say this? Okay, so I watched The Curse of Bridge Hollow today. And The Curse of Bridge Hollow is the Netflix original. And it's essentially just this like it felt like a decom. But
Like
it was one of the
Disney Channel original movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt like one of those horror like Halloween decoms. And it was one of the first like movies like that I've seen in a long time that it wasn't like a nostalgia trip. Like it wasn't set in the 80s. It wasn't set in the 90s. Like it was just like present day like hijinks in a town. So like it revolves around this thing of like, there's this like old wizard who died in the town. His name was Jack, and it's sort of like the jack-o'-lantern stuff, like the jack-o'-lantern tale.
Okay.
And he makes all the Halloween decorations come alive, and so that's like his little army to take over the town.
Cool.
Okay.
But the decorations don't become living like in Buffy or something. They don't become real. They're just injected with life. And so you have all these decorations that move like decorations, but they have consciousness.
Huh. Okay.
So it's like one of those little like paper pinup cats that you put on your window or something, but it's like moving with the little joints.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it like tries to cross the street and it's gonna get hit by a car and then it goes flat like paper. And then it comes back up. And it was just really, really cute. And like my question is like people like really don't like that movie. And I feel like Halloween, but like kind of horror, I guess. It's going into this weird space where I feel like everyone like has like an idea of what it should be. And when it's not that, they just like blow it off. I don't know. It feels like people are just being really, because like the movie never tries to be anything serious,
Mm-hmm.
and so people are like, "Oh, this wasn't very good." And I don't know, like I'm watching it like, no, this is so much fun. What do you want? What do you want from a movie like this? And I never felt that way for like horror movies. I felt like if a horror movie wasn't for you, then you just like went past it, and then it's for somebody.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like Halloween Ends, but I know people loved Halloween Ends, and I'm not like talking shit about Halloween Ends, so I just move on.
Mm-hmm.
But people get into fights about Halloween Ends. I don't know. What do you guys think about that sort of subsection of like, I guess, film criticism?
I think we're seeing it more and more right now, you know, and it sucks. You know, it's like everyone should be able to love what they love. I don't know if I told you guys. I know I told Sam, but we talked about how I had watched RRR. Well, I posted a tweet on Twitter about how much I was loving RRR, and I went to bed, and I wake up, and then the tweet has blown up, and everyone is fighting over Bollywood versus Tollywood, and I had to mute it. My first muted tweet, I felt like a celebrity. I was like, I'm out of it. I'm out.
Did you say it was Bollywood? And people were like, excuse me, sir.
No, all I said was like, I'm really loving this movie. And because I tweeted it like halfway through when I was watching it with my dad. And then they started their own fight. I was like, wow. I was like, okay.
More to the point, Matt, people in your comments were talking about other movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, hey, you should watch this instead because it's a real movie. It's not trash.
Yeah.
All these other things. And it's like, and that was like this whole comment thing. I was like, wow, okay. So it's like I don't know. It's like Matt said, we're seeing that more and more where it's like people want to believe that a movie should be one way. And if it's not that, then the movie's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's Last Jedi syndrome is what it is, because people went into the Last Jedi with a myriad of fan theories and like, oh yeah, like it's going to connect this or it's going to do this, it's going to do that. And it did none of those things. And people hated it. And I won't say that the film is not without its faults, you know, or that it's a perfect movie and everybody should love it. Like, yeah, like it worked for some people and it didn't work for others. But a lot of the criticism was just stuff that wasn't in the movie.
Right.
It's not what the movie was. And so it's like that's sort of where everybody's, you know, train of thought is going, you know. It's like, and I feel the same way where it's like if a movie's not for me, you know, then it's like, well, that wasn't for me. That sucked.
Yeah, like, I remember we saw Mad God earlier this year.
Yeah.
And we were like that's so interesting and like well made. I just don't like it.
yeah. You know, like you can tell that it is a, you know, labor of love across 3 decades, you know, 3 decades of work. And yeah, like great. Very great. I'm very glad I watched it. I have no inclination to watch it ever again. Yeah, that's where my thing is, you know. So it's like I don't know, like I think like, you know, to sort of bring it back to like the Halloween movie that you're talking about, I don't know, like I think people just have this like train of thought. They get stuck into like their own purview, and so when they're trying to fit everything into their own view, their own bubble, and if it doesn't fit right, if it fits awkwardly, or if it doesn't fit at all, then it's garbage. And I think that's a poor way to view art, and I think it's a pretty poor way to go through life.
What's a horror movie that you love that you think maybe people don't?
That I think maybe people don't.
Yeah, what's a horror movie that you love and then like you got on, I don't know, Twitter or Letterboxd or something, and you're like, people hate this.
Oh man, I mean, honestly, give it some time, and then, you know, any movie that happens to, you know, like right now there are people that are saying like, you know, Everything Everywhere All at Once isn't a great movie, or isn't a good movie. And I'm like, whatever. No. I have no time for that. Jokingly, I would say Jason X. But I think also honestly, it would be Jason X.
It's so bad. It's so bad but fun.
Yeah, because it's bad, but like for me, Jason X was one of the ways in for me, like to, I don't want to say like real horror or whatever, but like long lasting like horror franchises and franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween or Friday the 13th. I didn't watch those growing up. I didn't like horror movies growing up. So when I saw Jason X, I don't even remember how old I was. I was probably like 12 or 13 or something. I saw it, like I was so terrified, but I was so intrigued because it's taking the slasher and putting him in space. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, and I'm scared, but it's fun. Like I'm still having fun. Like it's bad. It's cheesy bad, but I'm having a good time with it. And it felt like when I was very small watching like Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein with Matt and our parents, where it's like, yeah, I was still kind of terrified of like the Wolfman when he transforms, or Dracula, when he comes out. Like I was still kind of terrified of that. And then Abbott and Costello, like, they'll throw a pie in a face or something like that, or somebody falls off a ladder and it's comedic and funny. And it felt sort of like that watching Jason X for me. So when I found out that people didn't like Jason X, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Maybe compared to like other movies and stuff, but like you can still appreciate. And then they're like, no, they hate Jason X. They're
it's
like,
objectively bad.
It's objectively bad. It's a travesty to the franchise. I'm like, guys, this is a guy in a hockey mask who kills people. Depth. You want depth. You want depth for that. Like he fights a psychic child at some point. Like I don't care. like these movies are just fun. So I don't know. Not to say that there's not merit in like bad movies or any of the Friday the 13th movies, but it's just that like, yeah, I don't know. Like I still try and have fun with the movies that I'm not enjoying. So
then I like very recently I watched Halloween. I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And as I'm watching it, because I watched it being like, oh, okay, I'm just watching this to complete my viewing of Halloween. Like I want to watch all of them. And so I have to watch these. So I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I'm like, this is terrible. This is exactly what I thought it was. But then I started Halloween 2, and I was like, what's happening? And then I like 20 minutes in, Rob Zombie's like, I don't want to make a Halloween movie. And he just like goes off the rails. And he just like, he's like, no, I'm gonna do like my version of what this is. And honestly, it was great. It's so weird, and it's so crazy, and it's so emotional, and it's so like sincerely emotional, I think.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, this works for me. Let's go. And then like I was like, you know what? I bet some people feel the same way I do. Then I went online, and no, they don't. They really don't.
So the real moral of the story is never go online for anything.
Yeah.
Matt, let's have another question.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. This one does have multiple choice. So so y'all got a shot. Okay, so this one is for 10 points. What was the first horror movie in color? Was it A, The Curse of Frankenstein, B, Dr. X, C, The Birds, or D, The Tingler?
The bird. C.
Dr. X.
Dang it. I was gonna say Dr. X. Yeah,
it's Dr. X. 10
I
points for
don't
Mickey.
think so. I don't think that's right.
So Dr. X was 1932.
So Sam, we both get a point, right?
What was that?
yeah.
Oh, that was 10 points.
Sam and I both get 10 points.
No, because it's the first one to answer.
Oh, okay. So it's Mickey. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, Dr. X came out, I want to say 1932, and it was shot in two-tone Technicolor. but because
Ooh.
of like studio interference, censors, all this other stuff, they ended up like throwing out the color negative. So for decades, it was just a black and white movie until someone found the color version. So it's from 1932, a color, a horror movie in color.
Wow.
Everyone says it's pretty bad, even looking back through time, but it is kind of cool to say, hey, this is the first one in color. So
Was there blood?
I don't know, but it was like, what is it like? The tone was like the two-tone color was red and green, so the whole film is like red and green. So I think
Technicolor.
it just technically looked
Technicolor
like
is-
blood. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they would have allowed blood because of like the censors
mhm.
that they had back in the day. Which is why you get, most of the like universal monsters, like they don't maul their victims. Dracula doesn't have fangs. So we're just sort of like meant to like imply that he like bites people, but more often than not, they kill people by just like choking them, strangling
Or
them.
holding their face.
Yeah, or holding their face and shaking it for like 2 seconds and then they die.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you guys know what the first movie to imply that zombies eat brains was? Because if like the zombies didn't go around saying brains and
Oh.
like eating brains.
Shaun
Yeah.
of the Dead.
No.
Okay.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, that was what, like 80s, like
Those
the
are the
80s?
80s.
Yeah.
Because
That's
like that
wild.
joke, you can draw a line between that joke and Return of the Living Dead.
So what was it in the movie? How did they like? How was it portrayed?
In the
Were
movie,
they actually
just
saying
walk around
brains?
and they're like brains. That's where it comes from.
Oh,
I
okay.
wonder.
It's because Return of the Living Dead is a joke. It's like, well, it's a comedy.
Mhm.
Okay.
I wonder what people thought zombies ate before.
Flesh,
I mean, like
Anything
to
they
each
can-
their own, right?
which
Like,
Yeah.
brains
Yeah.
are flesh, but I don't know where that joke comes
it's like ramen noodles. Because
Yeah.
what is it? iZombie?
from. I zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yum.
Give me some more. I want to win.
Oh my gosh.
You want, okay, you want
No.
another one?
Yeah, let's do
Really?
let's do
Oh my
another one.
god. Yeah, I want to lose quickly, I guess.
All right, this one is for 15 points. On what set? Oh, no, okay, you know what? I'm going to give this is a two-part question. So one is
Okay.
going to be for 20 points, the second part's going to be for 15. First part. On what set did Sarah Michelle Gellar meet her future husband? Bonus points if you can tell me who her husband is.
I know what you
Fre-
did last summer,
Freddie
Freddie Prinze
Prinze
Jr.
I give it to Amy. Yeah.
And
Both
I'm
parts?
back in the game. Where's
Both
that
parts,
from?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. I think
Um,
Amy gets both of them for that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Damn, she just yeah. This is why I like giving more points the more questions
Me
we go
too.
to.
I like you are such a great game host, Matt,
you.
and great
Thank you.
point situation. I love that.
I was about to say Scooby Doo. That wasn't.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got two more, Sam, if you want to save those for the end, for the grand finale.
Okay.
35
You
points.
got anything else?
Yes, dude.
Let's
35.
see. All right, so we've gone over like horror movies of today, like the ones that like we're really like psyched about this year. And we've done talking about like horror books and like other sort of like horror media and gone into that a little bit. I guess let's see. The last thing I guess I want to put it to y'all. What do you think the future of horror looks like? Because I know right now.
You're looking at her. Oh, boom.
Nice.
Okay. That's
What?
good. You know what? 50
That's
points
it.
for Amy. I don't care.
Thank
Like,
you. I
yeah,
win.
that's just great. Well, yeah, because like I know, like right now we're living in an interesting age where, there's companies that are buying up other companies, almost every other 5 years. right, like right now, like kind of like the big thing, is like everything that's going on with WB, and like we're losing sort of some like streaming stuff, like stuff that was made like for streaming, and we may never see it again. Right now, I don't know if the Empty Man from 2020, I believe, um I don't know if that was part of like the
Yeah,
merger deal, but
it's gone.
as of the end of September, this recent September, it's gone, and it never went to video distribution, so there are no physical copies of it anywhere. You can't rent it anywhere. It's just completely gone. And we're seeing a lot of that happen with with a bunch of different projects, not specifically horror, but I worry that it could be that. So that's sort of my question. What do you all think the future of horror is, and what sort of place will it have?
Okay, I think
Oh, how
specifically.
dare you! I was raising my hand.
This isn't a classroom.
But it is. It's a classroom of learning.
Well, I think specifically, real quick. I think specifically, it's going to. So the future of horror is theatrical releases, is low budget theatrical releases, not streaming, because I feel like, okay, Smile was it was like a 15-20 million dollar movie,
Okay.
and it made $100 million. It's
Whoa.
not based on anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like based on the guy's like short film that he used to try to get it made. But the
Okay.
short film didn't go viral or something. He didn't like put it on TikTok. So like it's just the movie and people talking about the movie and like the marketing of the movie. And we this isn't the first time it happened. Like Barbarian made a shit ton of money, and I know Nope is a little more higher cost, but like Jordan Peele has 3 movies that are all made $100 million, like over $100 million. And so I think it wouldn't benefit people to make low budget horror movies for streaming. I think it would benefit people to make low budget horror movies for theatrical releases, to just get as much money as they can. And like we see all these like mid budget other movies that are coming out around the same time, not even just October. I just mean like some movies came out with Scream in January and all that stuff, and they're all failing, and we don't know why. And so I think for like the immediate future, I think people are going to start investing more in like low budget horror, low to mid budget horror, and then trying to break that $100 million ceiling.
Okay.
That apparently people are here for, because like I could never have guessed that Smile was going to break $100 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me.
Amy,
what?
Yes, really quickly. No, I was so excited because that's exactly what I was going to say, but you forgot some of our favorite movies of this year, including Pearl and X. Did they cost a lot? Did Pearl and X cost a lot?
Pearl cost $1 million.
See?
Wow.
So my choices are better. No.
But it's just because they used the location from X. Okay.
Well, okay. But I think those, because that's what I was gonna say. But I think it's also interesting because obviously stuff IP horror, does that make that, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Like Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know about y'all, but I'm so freaking excited about that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I think it's coming like 10 years too late, but I'm excited.
I mean, it's right on time for me. I just started playing last year.
And I don't know, like I feel like not to take away from your answer, Amy, but like that series is still going strong, and that like that franchise is going, and now it's like branched out. Like my pretty sure like my nephews like read like the Five Nights at Freddy's books that they have. So like,
whoa,
yeah,
there's an extended Five Nights at Freddy's universe.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, they're written like for middle graders, but like they're still reading them. So like, yeah, I think there is potential in at least like the Five Nights market. So maybe it's too late, but yeah.
I'm also interested. I don't know off the top of my head how much Bodies was, like how much it cost, but I think truly, look, maybe I'm totally off base, but I feel like Jordan Peele creating what he did with Get Out kind of opened people's minds up to horror in different ways, that it doesn't have to be a slasher. It doesn't have to be whatever. Like, it can just be different kinds. And I think we're going to have different categories of horror. There's going to be Jordan Peele, and that's always going to make a lot of money.
Mhm.
And they're going to have, like, what Mickey said, just like low budget horror that will be coming to theaters, and then will make its way to streaming later. And then you've got, I don't know, like, ideally, like a bunch of other directors. Like, off the top of my head, I'm like, okay, well, Ty West, Pearl
Mhm.
X, Ari. I mean, like, if Midsummer came out now, I don't know if it would do as well. And I also wonder how much the pandemic affected things, because I know that there are people out there that don't necessarily still like want to rush into theaters.
Mhm.
So it's almost like, if you're gonna make that exception to go, it needs to be for something really insane, like really, really good. And if you're a big horror movie fan and you know it's gonna come out on streaming later, then you'll just wait for that. So I don't
Mhm.
think like direct to streaming, because I honestly, like, I think they do get a bad reputation, straight to streaming movies, which they shouldn't, because of other genres as well. There's some really good ones that you
Mhm.
can't catch in theaters. But yeah, I think one more A24, of course. So that's it. Apparently, just maybe 4 categories: Jordan Peele, low budget horror movies that will go to theaters, Ty
Mhm.
West, and all the other guys that I mentioned, and then A24, and hopefully some more ladies in there.
Yeah, because like
100%.
Smile is just a studio horror movie. It's not an A24 movie. It's not an independent horror
budget.
movie. It's just a low
Mhm.
budget studio horror,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Real quick, so this is a good example. Bodies wasn't distributed widely. It wasn't a wide distribution. So it
Hmm.
cost like $4 million to make, and it made $15 million, which is still like profit. But like something like Bullet Train, which came out the same time, cost $50 million, and it made $30 million.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, we'll think like Don't Worry, Darling. Also, that came out
Yeah, Don't Worry,
roughly the
Darling.
same time as what? Smile?
Yeah.
Like, Smile was like
Or-
a week after.
Yeah.
Smile broke $100 million. Don't Worry, Darling is not broke $100 million.
Yeah. And
Oh, wow.
I mean, you got all of Harry's stance, even then just going to that. But it's, I don't know. I think people need to be, what do I know about producing? But I think they need to be smarter about how much money these movies are costing when they are not sure, and save that money on
And give it to
really
me.
good, sure, yeah, really good marketing. I feel like Smile opened that up as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Smile, even like the marketing for Barbarian, like they didn't really give you much, but it was enough to sort of be like, ooh, like what's this? Like, you know, like it also feels like we're kind of going back to like uh kind of like the days of like, you know, like early Wes Craven, you know, or even like early Sam Raimi, where like we're doing a lot that's very low budget, and it's just sort of like a simple idea. You know, I love the idea that like Barbarian takes place technically all in one location. We just explore different elements. Like we have to go to the basement. We find a secret room in the basement. We find another thing in the basement, and like we keep like doing that. It's like it's very simple, but it's effective, you know, very effective. So yeah, I'm
Matt,
excited.
have you seen
for that.
Barbarian?
Nope.
You saw the
Mallcats.
trailer.
I don't know if you would.
I
don't know
did
if
see
you
the
would like-
trailer.
I don't know if you would like Barbarian, but I think you'd have fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. That's a good point too, Sam, because like at work and stuff, we were always saying that I should have my own like horror movie trailer review show, because I won't watch the movies, but I'll tell you everything about the trailers. I'm like, yeah, that's like as far as I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I had fun. And I think it's time to cap this off with our final 2 questions.
I agree.
Okay. This next one is for 25 points. And it's kind of going to piggyback on what Amy was just talking about.
Ooh.
But this is again no multiple choice, so y'all just got to shout movies at me.
Oh, dang it.
Also, I need to put a exclamation mark here. Again, just like last year, I did no research for these questions. I just found this info online, so it might be true and it might be false.
Okay.
So, what was the first Hollywood quote unquote teenage horror film to not feature an actual corporeal killer?
Final Destination.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was way too fast.
Oh, dang it.
25 points for Mickey.
All
You're welcome. I
right.
gave you that one.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Teenage. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that should have been the clue.
So,
Final
okay.
Destination, it's so good. All of them. I love them. I don't
Mhm.
care what people say.
I also found
series.
out that I believe the Chinese translation for Final Destination is "The Death God Comes." Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Why don't we just call the movie
Why
that?
don't we
That
just
sounds way better.
I
The
know.
Death God Comes.
Okay,
I feel
so
Get dirty.
Mickey and Amy are tied at 35.
Shut up.
Oh, dang.
Sam has 5.
Woo.
Woo!
So,
Give me a
Bronze. I'm on the board.
mhm. So
Sam, give me your 5.
No.
The way I said
Matt, are you gonna come up with a tiebreaker?
yeah, I have a question right here. This next one is for 35 points. So, Sam, you do have a chance to win the whole thing if you get this one right. Okay.
Let's go.
Move over, Nev Campbell. Shove off, Jamie Lee Curtis. Hollywood has a new Scream Queen, and her name is Jenna Ortega.
yeah.
By the young age of 20, how many horror films has Jenna been involved in?
3.
4.
Amy, you got the last guess.
I mean 5.
I gotta give it to Amy. She's the closest.
What?
She's been in 6 movies, horror movies.
No way.
So Amy is once again the Lost Legacies horror movie champion. So Jenna Ortega has been in Insidious 2, The Babysitter, Killer Queen, Scream, Studio 666, X, American
Yeah.
Carnage, that's the 6, and then the upcoming Scream 6.
That's right, girl. She's
Okay.
fantastic, by the way, in person. Some people aren't as friendly as they might seem, but she is. She's fantastic.
And she's also Wednesday Addams, which is horror themed, you know?
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yeah.
I want to be her
mhm.
friend.
2
Dang.
years in a row.
2 years in a row.
No, y'all just need to get on my
Congratulations.
level.
These are here you go, Amy. This is a bouquet of vampire bats. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Name them all.
You've earned it. Mickey, you have the silver. So here, take this silver platter that has a brain on it. It's abnormal, so don't stick it in any monsters and don't eat it.
Mhm.
I
What's
will.
abnormal about it?
You'll have to find out, won't you? I will go ahead and take this bronze handled wooden vampire steak as my third place prize. And Matt, we're gonna give you a little spider ring, a little like 50-cent, 25-cent spider ring, because
Perfect.
you're not super into horror, but there you
I'll
go.
take it.
There you
Is
go.
it just plastic?
Yeah, it's just plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just plastic. I feel like it fits, you know?
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Well, congratulations to Amy for winning once again. Guys, thank you for being on the show once again this year. I had a lot of fun. This has been fantastic. And to all the listeners out there who are tuning in, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope to see y'all next year. Guys, you have any socials? Where can the people find you? Where can the zombies find you?
Only if y'all want.
Only if you want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love zombies and vampires, mummies, all kinds of creatures. Y'all can find me at Amy Cassandra MTZ. That is an abbreviation for Martinez, not mountains. And that's pretty much everywhere. I also have a YouTube channel where I've been vlogging. I'm behind, but once I catch up, you will see some behind the scenes stuff of the Halloween Ends, red carpet, and after party. And I just wanted to shout out a few movies that I feel like we forgot to. Well, actually, I guess it's only one.
Sure, go for it.
2 movies that we forgot to show some love to. The Black Phone is insanely good, so make sure you watch that. The Invitation is so cool. It's not like some epic masterpiece, but it's a heck of a movie. I've seen it twice apparently already in theaters, which is crazy. And yeah, shout out to X and Pearl and Barbarian. And that's it. Oh, and of course Nope and Scream. Those, well, I guess I just told you all my top 10. Okay. So that's it. Off the top of my head. Oh, Bodies, but we already said Bodies. And you mentioned Watcher. And I just wanted to look at Mickey's list because he took my answer before.
You can find me at Macabre Martinez on Twitter. And you can follow me on Letterboxd. I forgot what my Letterboxd name was.
I think it's the Mickey M.
It just says Mickey Martinez.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, fine. Just follow my Letterboxd at Mickey Martinez. Shout out to Pearl. Go watch Pearl. That's it.
Pearl is so freaking good.
Go watch Pearl and go watch X. Don't watch it in the order it was released. Go watch Pearl and then go watch X.
Oh my gosh, and Fresh on Hulu.
Oh, go watch Fresh on Hulu.
Not while you're eating.
No, watch it while you're eating.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's it, guys. We love you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Reel. That's REEL Texas Weirdo.
And I'm on Twitter at _Matt Jimenez and Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch on Instagram.
That's what it says?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I thought it was just Holy Hand Grenade. Maybe that's just as far as I read.
Yeah.
Well, it probably cuts it off because it's so long,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam, what's our sign off for the Halloween episode?
Ooh. I'll give you like background scares.
Until next time. Get lost.
Get lost, okay. Real quick, guys, we just want to jump in. We completely forgot to bring this up. Thank you for joining us for our Halloween episode. The next episode, however, it's going to depend on the schedule because we're working on some things. We mentioned all the Patreon stuff with you in the last episode. We don't know if we're going to have a new episode next week or the week after because technically this episode is going up a week before Halloween, so you have a lot of time to enjoy it. But either way, we're either going to have a new Lost Legacies next week or the following. So we'll have to figure that out in the schedule. But we wanted to jump in and say we're actually going to take a little break from Lost right now. Ain't that right, Sam?
That's right. We are.
It was mostly my idea just because we were looking at the schedule and like it's basically from here to the end of the year. It's holiday season now. So we're talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that stuff. Our schedule's going to be a little wonky. It's going to be weird going into Lost Season 4, which is already the shortest season, the shortest Lost season. And we're going to be butchering the schedule like that. So I figured maybe we shouldn't just jump into Lost Season 4 and do something else.
Mhm.
So we figured we would finally, this is the only way I could get Sam to watch this show. We're going to watch Arcane on Netflix. Arcane is, I guess it's from League of Legends, the video game, but you don't have to know anything about the game. I certainly didn't when I watched the show.
I definitely don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be watching from now through the end of the year, and maybe a little bit into January. It depends how many episodes we can get through. So, and the reason we went with that is because right now it's only one season. It's 9 episodes, and the stories, they're usually told in like a 3-episode arc. So it's easier to kind of take a break for holidays here and there, as opposed to Lost, where we're just going to end on a random episode, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. And we wanted to give y'all a heads up so y'all can watch, because I know a lot of people have Netflix. And if you don't, borrow and or steal someone's, login info. Go check it out. It's fun. It's cool. It's a fantasy magic setting, but in a way that I don't think has been really portrayed anywhere before. It almost feels like a modern day fantasy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just want everyone to, if you got some free time, start watching Arcane with us. And it's kind of exciting too, because this is the first time me and Sam are kind of branching off of Lost. We've talked about movies before and other stuff, but to actually jump into a whole other series, this may be a little taste to come in Lost Legacies future. So, yeah. So we just wanted to give everyone a heads up. Sam, what you said you know nothing about Arcane?
Yeah, I know it's a video game. Lots of people play it. I think it's like an MMO sort of, or no, it's more like league based. No, okay. See, I know nothing about it. It's a video game. It's mostly online. Yeah, that's all I got.
Fine. That's all I knew when I started the show. The reason I started it, and I think the reason everyone should check it out, is because, and I don't like to overhype things, but I always do. The animation is on a whole other level. Like this, to me, this is like my favorite animated project. I want to say movie, but it's not a movie. To me, this is like Spider-Verse level, Into the Spider-Verse level animation. And I'm hoping this is kind of a taste of what the animation industry has in store for us in the future. So take a seat, grab some popcorn, and let's do this ride together. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing that. So hopefully we'll be back next week with episode 1 of Arcane. If not, because of our schedule, then it will be the following week. So we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to have to come up with an outro saying, until then,
Get Arcane.
Get Arcane.